that's a cracker fight, you know. But obviously, I'm backing Parker. I believe Parker's boxes well. He fights well. He's smart. He's got good hand speed for a heavyweight. I believe he wins, you know.
That's going to be a great fight. I can't wait to see that. You know, somebody's got to take an L, but that's going to be a great-ass fight, man. I want to say Wardley, man. I want to say Wardley. He got a punch, man. One thing about it, he can be getting beat up the whole fight and then land something and it'd be over. So, and plus I want to fight him. So,
Joseph has done very well with Andy. Andy has brought something out of him, and maybe patience and smarts that maybe was always there, but nobody had brought it out. As far as Wardley is concerned, he's a danger to anybody that he fights. He's got that good power that could neutralize a lot of things that Parker tries to do. But I still think that Joseph should prevail in this one. It won't be easy. He's gonna have to be on his P's and Q's, I think, to be able to defeat and to knock out somebody like Wardley.
For one, I think Joseph Parker has a good chin. He's shown that through his entire career. I think only, if I'm not mistaken, has he been stopped once, maybe, or maybe not?
Joe
Was he
Joyce.
stopped once? Yeah, so that was just one time, and obviously Joe was a good puncher, and that was a great fight, highly competitive up until that moment that it ended. And he is, as you mentioned, a lot more experienced than Hooney. I also think he's probably a little better technically than Hooney is. Joe's been on that big stage before. Hooney, was a good young fighter, but had never been at that level before, just in terms of the big stadium crowd and all the things that were going on with that fight. Joseph Parker has fought, in front of 80,000 people against Anthony Joshua. He's been in some of the, the biggest fights in the division throughout his career, fought against top names, time and again. So I think that he's got a very good chance to win that fight. I really like this fight. I had a chance to talk to Joe for the podcast I do and for our YouTube channel just a few days ago. He's in Ireland. He's been there with Andy Lee for the last probably 6 weeks already, getting ready for this fight, 7 weeks or something like that. He said very comfortable, brought his family. A lot of times these guys, they go away to training camp for, a couple of months at a time, and they're away from home. Joseph is a mature guy, been around a long time. For him, it was a better situation to have his wife and kids with him a few minutes away. So he's much more content in the camp to have the family nearby. And as he said, it works for him. He's taken it very seriously. Look, everybody knows Fabio Wardley is a tremendous puncher. I mean, that's the calling card. I find I'm not saying it's impossible, but if he's going to win the fight, I just have a hard time seeing that Fabio Wardley is going to go in there and somehow outbox Joseph Parker for 12 rounds. Joseph Parker is not the puncher that Wardley is, but I feel like he's a better puncher than Hooney, and he's got a lot more boxing skills and acumen and, the experience. So, anytime you see Wardley fight, it's all about, can he get that big power going? We saw what he did like in the rematch against Frazer Clarke, just over and out real quick. So I think it's a really interesting match. It's going to be a good crowd. And Joe Parker made the point to me, and I have to give him, he's right about this. I wasn't really thinking this. Yeah, they're doing the fight in the O2, and it's a home game, if you will, for Wardley. He's the Brit. But Joseph Parker has a lot of fans in the UK. He's had a lot of fights there over the years. He's very strongly believing that there's going to be a good support for him in the crowd. He feeds off that. I think a lot of fighters feed off that. Wardley, it feels like, feeds off that the way he did when he was at home, when he fought against Hooney. So I'm not saying that Parker is going to be the crowd favorite. It makes that much of a difference, but it's not going to be like this massively anti-Joseph Parker crowd, it doesn't seem to me. This is a big fight for Wardley because he was so being outclassed by Hooney that it's kind of hard. It's kind of, people I think forget that because of the explosive ending. So he's getting a lot of props for doing what he did against Hooney, and he deserves it because he took a man out with one shot in a fight that he was losing wide on the scorecards. Parker's a different ballgame, man. Parker's a really good, solid veteran. I mean, even if he loses a fight, Parker, no one just takes him apart and makes him look like he doesn't belong in the ring. Anthony Joshua didn't do that. It didn't happen in that fight against Joe Joyce that we just talked about. So this is a real solid fight. I'm really interested in this heavyweight matchup.
I think Parker will stop Wardley. Too experienced and too good, I think.
It's a really good fight. Big Wardley's always in a fight because he carries the dynamite throughout. And we've seen that again in the Justice Hooney win where he was being comprehensively beaten and then done the business to finish it. So he's dangerous, and he's dangerous the whole way through the fight. But Joe Parker has improved immensely over the last couple of years. His run of form, although he's been inactive for a while, through no fault of his own, not been able to secure fights. that's not good for him. But Joe's the favourite in the fight, the big favourite. But I wouldn't rule the big I wouldn't rule big Fabio out. He's a puncher. He's dangerous, and he always has a chance.
That's exactly right, because they both wanted a fight. Neither of them were prepared to sit and wait, which some fighters would do, and I would advise some fighters sometimes to do that. I mean, no, we want to be in action. And we thought, well, if you want to be in action, why don't you just fight each other? And that's how it came to being. You know, it's a really good fight. You talk about styles gelling. It's a fight where the styles will gel. You know, Joe's on a great roll. I think he's won his last 3 now. Former world champion himself. Change of trainers. He's got a good trainer. He's got great rapport with Andy Lee. And then you got Fabio, who's had 20 fights and knocked out 18 of his opponents. Certainly his last fight showed how dangerous he is at any second of a fight. He's got that equaliser, and he done the business against Hooney when he was well behind on the scorecards. So their styles will gel. They'll walk forward, and I think we're going to get something. I really do feel we get something special on the night.
It's a good fight. I mean, I think I said it all along. I think Wardley will go in as Parker will go in as the favourite for various reasons. But you can't ever write Wardley off. We know what he does. I know what he does more than anyone. So you can't write him off, and I think it'd be a good fight.
So Parker is my brother. I lived with Parker 2 years in Las Vegas. Now we had the same coach. So Parker is my brother. I helped him with the Dubois fight, and I spar with Fabio too. I spar with Fabio in England. I think that Joseph Parker is the man right now. Is the top heavyweight. Usyk, Aituma, and Parker. This is the number 3. So I think that Parker will win this fight. I think by KO, because Parker is fast and strong. So let's see what's happened. But I am with Team Parker.
Yeah, they don't both don't need to take the fight, do they? Both don't need to take the fight. But it just goes to show what kind of fighting men they actually are, and I think Joe kind of needed it. It was when's the last time he fought? In Riyadh when I fought, wasn't it? Yeah. So it's a long time ago, man. It's a long time ago, and it's without sounding disrespectful to Fabio, it's a good fight for Joe. I believe anyway. I believe it's a good fight for Joe. It's dangerous because they're heavyweights. Anything goes. But I feel like Joe's too experienced, too smart, too sharp. And yeah, he'll be chomping at the bit.
That's an exciting fight. I'm excited to see the results, but I think Fabio beats him. I mean, everyone wants me to say knockout, but even if it goes the distance, I think because of the way Fabio fights tonight, like how intense, like he throws a lot of shots. So even if he doesn't knock him out, I feel like Fabio can actually win on points. I believe in him. Some people have off days. Maybe that was one of those, you get what I'm saying? Oh, maybe Justice Hooney was really good. I know him from the amateurs. I first saw him in the World Championships in 2019, and I know how good he is. I know, so you can't take nothing away from Fabio. Justice Hooney is a very good fighter. And Parker is a good fighter as well, but I believe in Fabio.
I like that fight. I actually like both fighters. Fabio is kind of nice. He's kind of smooth. Joseph Parker is very aggressive. He likes to punch. He likes to throw his combinations. So I think they have two good styles that kind of complement each other, but we won't know how it goes until we see it in the ring. I haven't seen too much of Parker. No knock on him, but, I'm cool. Fabio is kind of my guy. So, yeah, I like to see Fab pull it out.
I think Parker now would have a good city. He win. Good guys. And, I think he's going to win,
Tough fight. Fabio can bang, but I just feel like Parker's in a decent part of his career now. He's sharp, he's got momentum, he's winning, he's confident. And a happy fighter's a dangerous fighter. Obviously, I'm rooting for my teammate, but it's a tough fight.
I feel like with this fight, even if a lot of people are saying it's, I'm a lot more experienced than Justice Hooney, which is probably correct, but I'm not just going to look at Fabio's last fight. Andy said to me, sometimes fighters do have a bad day in the office. And it could well be that he had a bad day in the office, or could well be that Justice Hooney was just that experience that made him look like that. But we're looking at the last 4 or 5 fights and seeing what he's done. You know, so we're not just looking at the last fight and saying, you know what, that's the blueprint. And a lot of people will. A lot of people will look at it and go, you know what, that's all he has to do to beat him. But again, that fight will probably make him better than what he was, and he could learn a lot from that fight, even though he got the win. But learning about what he was able to do in the fight, what he should be doing in the next fight, being patient, being dominant, patient and picking your moments, showing that experience, showing that there are different levels in this game of boxing, and go out there and do the job.